Hello class, welcome back in our online discussion. And again, we are still in chapter 2 about the economic impact of tourism and hospitality. Again, this is your instructor, Jason Cano. And the chapter 2 is under the subject code THC1, or the course Macro Perspective of Tourism and Hospitality. So in the previous discussion, as a recap, we discussed about first the letter A, about the contribution to GDP or gross domestic product. We discussed about the direct versus indirect impact or economic impacts. We discussed about the contribution to GDP, the direct economic impact and indirect economic impact, and employment generation, foreign exchange earnings, infrastructure development, seasonality and vulnerability, and sustainability considerations. And in our previous online discussion, we discussed about the employment generation, in which we discussed about the jobs in various sectors and also the seasonal versus permanent employment. And we also discussed about the jobs in various sectors such as hotel, restaurants, adventure, tourism. And we also differentiate the seasonal and the permanent employment about their advantages and disadvantages. And we also talk about the Balancing Act, and we specifically talk about the training and skill development, compensations and benefits, work-life balance, and community integration. So in this specific online lecture, we will discuss about the third one, or the letter C, about the foreign exchange earnings. So the foreign exchange earnings in the hospitality and tourism industry are significant for many countries, especially those with popular tourist destinations like in the Philippines. So the tourism is often referred to as an export industry. Again, the tourism is often referred to as an export industry. Okay, so the tourism is also referred to or called as an export industry. Again, we will talk specifically about the foreign exchange earnings. So it talks about the international relations with the other countries or nations. Again, the tourism is also referred to or called as a export industry. Why it is called export industry? It is because it generates income from foreign visitors who spend money on various services and products during their travels. So a specific nation or country have this greater contribution to our GDP if our visitor is coming from other nations, or we also call it as a foreign visitors. So again, the tourism is also referred to as an export industry. Why? It's because it generates income from where? From the foreign visitors, not just in the local visitors, but most especially from the from the foreign visitors who spend money on various services and products during their travel. So there are many key points that we will consider. So I will just only discuss about the 8 key points to consider about the foreign exchange earnings. So we will talk about the foreign exchange earnings, economic impact, balance of payments, foreign investments, multiplier effect, diversification of revenue, promotion of export, and lastly, expertise development. So we will talk first about the foreign exchange earnings. So when we talk about the foreign, it talks about the international relations. Okay. Word earnings means it is a income or revenue. Exchange, it means that you will exchange the earnings. Okay. For example, dollar to peso. That's an example of an exchange. So tourism is a major contributor to a country's foreign exchange earnings. Again, that is why in our industry, in hospitality and tourism industry, we have this greater impact to our nation. And tourism is the major contributor to a foreign or to a specific country's foreign exchange earnings. The moment that the visitor will exchange their money, for example, dollars to peso, so we will earn on that activity. So when again international tourists visit in a particular place, they exchange their foreign currency, for example dollars, for the local currency or peso, for example, to pay for services such as accommodation. This is the common products and services: the accommodation, the food, the transportation, and any activities. Accommodation, food, transportation, and activities. The moment that the foreign visitors will visit the Philippines, they will exchange the currency or change the currency from foreign currency to local currency. Why? Because they will spend it to what are the common activities: accommodation, food, transportation, and other activities. So this flow of foreign currency boasts a country's foreign exchange reserves. That is why we also encourage the other tourists coming from other nations to visit our country, because we earn not just by spending on our, for example, accommodation, food, transportation, and others, but also when they exchange their currency from a foreign currency to local currency, so we will have an earnings on that particular activity. Okay, that is for number one, foreign exchange earnings. We will earn our country for a particular foreign exchange, for example, from dollars to our local currency or peso. The second one is economic impact. Tourism stimulates economic growth by creating jobs in various sectors, including the hospitality, transportation, food service, and entertainment. So we'll already discuss about this one. Again, the tourism or the hospitality industry stimulates economic growth by creating jobs in various sectors. So there are job opportunities because of tourism and hospitality, and our economic are growing because of this industry. So because of this growing industry, there are job opportunities, including in the area of hospitality, for example, transportation, drivers, pilots, etc. Food service, waiters, chef, and entertainment, singers, and band, and etc. So again, it's because of the tourism and hospitality industry, there is a job opportunities or job creation, and because of these foreign visitors who will visit our country, our economy will grow. And there's a job opportunity to the hospitality, transportation, food service, entertainment, and others. So these jobs contribute to a country's overall economic development. So if there's a job opportunities or job creation, we all know that there is also called an income tax. So those income tax will be given to the government. So there's an economic impact, most especially if we have these foreign visitors. That is for number two, economic impact. Number 3, balance of payments. So the tourism and hospitality can help improve a country's balance of payments, as the earnings from international tourists can offset the expenses incurred by domestic tourists traveling abroad. Okay, so there's a balance of payments. There's an inflows and outflows. So it talks about the cash, but in terms of balance of payment, or we focus more on, for example, if we have, we have these workers who are working abroad, so they also bring money from the Philippines to other nations. So because of these foreign visitors, there is a balance of payments, because other people, the foreign tourists, will also bring their own money. We have this their own currency, and they will exchange this in our local currency. So there will be a balance of payments. So that is for number 3. Again, the tourism can help improves the country's balance of payments. So that is also the contribution of foreign visitors who are visiting our country. It improves or helps the country's balance of payment. Again, as the earnings from international tourists can offset, okay, the expenses incurred by domestic tourists traveling abroad. Because we all know that there are also Pinoy or Filipino who went to other nation as a traveling tourist. For example, if there are someone who want to go to the Holy Land or in the Israel or Jerusalem, so they will spend their money from a peso, and they will exchange also this to other or foreign currency, because they spend money to pay for their accommodation in Israel, for example, and for their food. So by the help of foreign visitors, it will balance the payment. They call it balance of payment. It will help improve a country's balance of payment. So we have these local people who will travel to other nations. So they bring their money and spend to other nations. So the foreign tourists, their expenses in our nation will become an offset, okay, that is incurred by domestic tourists traveling abroad. So there will be a balance of payment. Okay, so you know that what are the possible problems if we will not allow foreign tourists? They will be an imbalance of payments, because we have this also Filipino who will travel to other nations. So what will happen to our economy? So it will affect our economy, because they bring money from the Philippines and they spend to other nations. So if we will accept foreign tourists, it will have this balance. Okay, I hope that you understand this balance of payments. That's it for number 3. And let's proceed to the number 4, foreign investments. So the successful tourism can attract foreign investment in the hospitality and infrastructure sectors. So if, for example, there are foreign visitors who will observe that we have this beautiful nature, so there's a big possibility that they will invest in our country. And we can observe that, for example, in Panglao, there are many resorts there that the foreign visitors have this great contribution to build such international resorts. So because of tourism and hospitality, it attracts foreign investors to invest in our country. So it helps our economy in our country. So this investment can lead to the development of better tourist facilities, accommodations, and transportation that will further boosting the industry. So we all know that as a Filipino here in our country, in the Philippines, we only have this limited power or resources to build such a wonderful or nice facilities, accommodations, transportations, and others. So by the help of the foreign investors, um, they provide such nice facilities, accommodations, and transportation. So it helps our economy and the development of our country, especially in the area of tourism and hospitality. So, for example, what will happen if you will imagine if if there is no foreign investors that will invest in the tourism and hospitality industry? You only have this low quality of services, low quality of facilities, low quality of products. But if we will allow these foreign investors to invest their money in our country, especially in the tourism and hospitality industry, so it will have this better tourist facilities, accommodations, and transportations. Okay, so that's the importance of tourism and hospitality. It attracts the foreign investors to invest their money in our country to have this better facilities and others. So that is for number 4, foreign investment. So let's proceed to number 5, multiplier effects. So the tourism industry often has they call this multiplier effect. For example, this is only the tourism and hospitality industry, but there are many multiplier effects. Okay, this means that the income generated from tourism spending can lead to increased spending in other sectors such as retail, manufacturing, and agriculture. So I know that you already know about this one because I already discussed this in our previous discussion. For example, again, this person is only a tourism as a representation of tourism and hospitality. This is only a single industry. But because of such activities, there is called multiplier effects. There is a good effect on the area of, for example, this one is the retailer. This one is the manufacturer. This one is the agriculture. And many more. So because of tourism and hospitality, there is a positive impacts that affects the other sectors or industry. Okay? So that is the good thing about tourism and hospitality. It also helps the other sectors. So that is called multiplier effect. Next, number 6, diversification of revenue. Diversification of revenue. So tourism can reduce a country's dependence on a few industries and sources of revenue. It means that it diversifies the sources of income, making the economy more resilient to economic shocks. Okay, there is a diversity of the revenue. Again, the tourism can what? Reduce the country's dependence on a few industries and sources of revenue. So it means that the country have this backup plan. Okay, they are not focusing more on the few industries and sources of revenues, but there are also other sources of revenues. Okay, there's a diversification. It means that we're not focusing only on the certain areas, but we also consider other areas. Okay, so there is a sustainability. So it diversifies the sources of income and making the economy more resilient to economic shock. So we will not undergo this called economic shock because there are more resilient on this part. Okay. Number 7, promotion of export. So because of tourism and hospitality, it promotes exports. So beyond direct tourist spending, tourism can indirectly promote the export of goods and services related to the industry. What are those examples? Such as handicrafts, okay, handicrafts, souvenirs, and local products or local produce food products. Okay, because of tourism and hospitality, again, it promotes export. It means that we have this own product in our country and we export it to other country. So what are such example? Handicrafts, okay. Others are souvenirs, and we also have local produced food products. So I have heard also, for example, this locally produced food products, the dried mango and others. That's an example of local produced food products that is exported to other nations. We also have these souvenirs. We can see this in our different tourist attractions in our country. Souvenirs and the handicrafts. This is the products made in our local areas, most especially made by our local community. So there is a promotion of export of this, example, these three things to other nations. So that is the good thing of the tourism and hospitality. It promotes exports. And lastly, number 8, expertise development. So tourism also nurtures expertise in various fields, including the hotel management, culinary arts, cultural preservations, and marketing. So a skilled workforce is essential for the industry's success. So the industry or the business will not be successful if there is no skilled workforce. So because of tourism and hospitality, there will be an expertise development. For example, I have discovered also the different resorts or hotels in our place. For example, here in Bohol, in Panglao, specifically, their head chef or chief cook is a foreigner, and under of this foreigner are the Filipino people. So we all know that the other nations have this good experience, trainings, and they have these good skills. So by having this particular workforce or personnel, it helps our Filipino workers to develop also their skills by being a trainee to this particular person. So there's an expertise of development. For example, here this person is a we have this hierarchy of position. Rick Edward as a front office manager, just like for example they have this same person. Okay, for example, Mr. Rick Edward is a front office manager, and later on there has a various trainings and seminars. It will develop their skills, and maybe after 5 to 10 years he will become from a front office manager, he will become a room divisions manager. And if he will continuously develop his skills, he will become, from room division manager, he will become a resident manager or RM. And later on, if he will also develop his skills continuously, later on he will become the general manager. So there is an expertise development. I hope that as a reflection on this lesson, you have this aim to develop your skills, knowledge, and attitude, so that when you will become when you are working in a particular resort or hotel, you have this aim that you will promote according to the perfect time. So if you will develop your skills, knowledge, and attitudes, there's a big possibility that you will be promoted. For example, in this picture, from front office manager, later on you will become room divisions manager, and then you will become a resident manager, and later on you will become a general manager. So you need to have this kind of goal or aim in your future. So as a summary, the hospitality and tourism industries plays a vital role in many countries' economies by generating foreign exchange earnings and providing numerous economic and social benefits. So there are many benefits given by the hospitality and tourism industry. there is a vital role in many countries' economy. And it's considered, again, the tourism and hospitality is considered as an export industry. Export industry. Why? Because of this ability to attract foreign currency by the way of international visitors who spend on various services and products during their travels. Again, because of tourism and hospitality industry, it attracts foreign or international visitors. So upon visiting our country, for example, they will spend various services and products. So it helps our economy growing, and it also helps develop our infrastructure facilities and others. So that is the advantage of tourism and hospitality in the area of, we discussed this especially in the letter C, foreign exchange earnings. So I hope that you have learned something on this video, and don't forget to answer the evaluation quiz.